In the year 2045, I think a Bitcoin's worth $13 million. So every Bitcoin that you don't buy is a $13 million cost. That Ferrari that you're going to buy is going to cost you like 6 Bitcoin. And so it's going to be $100 million Ferrari, right? If you look out 20 years.
Michael Saylor is predicting Bitcoin hits $13 million per one coin in 20 years. Is this realistic? In today's video, we'll discuss this number, what's actually realistic here, plus 4 quality crypto altcoins I'm bullish on. You need to get these 4 projects on your radar. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. $13 million per one Bitcoin might seem like an astronomical number today, but keep in mind, $100,000 used to be an astronomical number when I got in. $10,000 used to be an astronomical number in the beginning of Bitcoin's early days. You can make even more money trading crypto. This is an exchange I like. This is the best deal I've ever seen by any exchange. $100,000 in trading bonuses. Anybody can take advantage of this, but you must act quickly. This deal won't be around forever. $100K extra in trading bonuses. No KYC. Make sure you use our Bitunix Exchange link below. Think about it like this. As Bitcoin's price grows, Bitcoin's network effect grows, causing the network to become bigger and better and making Bitcoin as an investment more attractive, causing the price to go up further, causing the network effect to increase again. This positive flywheel of adoption makes me think $13 million per one Bitcoin in the future is possible. Because let's be honest, $13 million today seems damn near impossible. I see your comments. $13 million per Bitcoin, you don't believe it. But keep in mind, Bitcoin today is overdue for a big move. Bitcoin's fair value today, based on global liquidity, Bitcoin should be above $140,000 right now. This is according to former hedge fund manager, macroeconomist, Dr. Jeff Ross. He says, get ready. Bitcoin's price is about to play some major catch-up.
$140,000 right now. It should be well above that based on the liquidity metrics I follow. Very surprised that it's not there. But I think, again, it's being held on by the economy. I think once the most market participants believe that the U.S. economy is finally starting to surge, I think the price of Bitcoin will skyrocket at that point. So that's just my personal take, is it's going to make up for lost time. It leaves me very bullish with where we are. Like I said earlier, for the next 6 months or so, I'm actually very bullish. If you would have asked me 2 or 3 years ago, I would have said we'd almost be at the peak of this business cycle, but we haven't even started yet. And so there's a chance we either have this massive surge higher in a short amount of time in Q4, and we still maintain these 4-year cycles, or more likely what it's looking like to me is the cycle extends into the first half of 2026 somewhere, which to me would mean the Bitcoin peak would probably extend and happen somewhere in the first half of 2026. One other thing I want to bring up is, because everybody knows that global M2 and liquidity lead the price of Bitcoin, something that I've noticed, however, is that at cycle peaks of Bitcoin price, the price of Bitcoin actually leads those other factors. So I would caution people to be very careful. What I've noticed from past cycles is that even though global M2 is still rising and kind of looking toppy, like the rate of change is starting to slow down a little bit, even though the economy is revved up and PMIs are sitting around 60 or so, and everybody is super bullish, that's usually about the time Bitcoin peaks.
So let's all admit that $13 million per one coin is seeing more and more plausible every year. In fact, Michael Saylor actually has a record, a history of predicting accurate investment calls. Just like this famous clip from 25 years ago, Michael Saylor begging his richest friend Warren Buffett to understand Apple will be the investment over the next 20 years. He was early to this.
Who wants to wait 42 seconds to watch something download instead of 2 seconds? Nobody, right? You don't have to be a genius to run an Apple computer. You just have to, every year, make the product a bit lighter, a bit more elegant, make it a better radio, make it a better battery. And then I sat with one of the 10 richest guys in the world for dinner 5 nights ago, and we had dinner for 4 hours, and he did half the talking, I did half the talking, and he's much more successful than I am. I understand that, by the way. So he said to me, Apple computer, can these guys hold their prices? Aren't they going to follow the model of the PC industry? And aren't their prices going to taper down? Their 40% margins going to become 30 and 35 and 20? And it's another example of people just know enough to hurt themselves, right? If you go to France, and this is the benefit of seeing enough, you go to France, you see Bernardo Arnault runs a company, LVMH. They're selling handbags for $4,000, $3,000, $2,500 each. This is a device that women view as fashion, and it's 10,000 years old. And for 10,000 years, no, the prices are not lower after 10,000 years. If you actually care about this thing, how many women have $300 pair of shoes? How many have two? How many have more than two? Right? The truth of the matter is when the technology goes from being a utilitarian vocational brick that I put under my desk, no one gives a crap about that, to being a piece of clothing, right? A fashion statement, extension of your personality, a piece of jewelry. And iPhones, iPads, they're somewhere between clothing and jewelry and accessory. At that point, they can hold that price point forever. They can basically sell you another $500 device every 2 years forever, because everybody's got five, and the first billion people have got that, and the rest of the world's getting elevated up.
So Bitcoin should actually be over 140,000 right now. Bitcoin is forecast to hit 13 million in about 20 years. By the end of this year, going into 2026, Bitcoin's price will likely hit $250,000. This is according to industry insider, Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson in one of his most recent interviews. Here my brother, Austin Arnold, on stage holds Charles' feet to the fire. We make him explain exactly how $250,000 Bitcoin happens within the next year. Listen to this.
But I do believe we will live in a world of $1 million Bitcoin. I think it'll happen. It's hard to say when. I don't think this cycle, I think we'll probably cap out around 250,000, but I think inevitably over the next 10, 20, 30 years, we will see that day where there's $1 million Bitcoin.
And you say Bitcoin this cycle you believe can get up to $250,000. You've said that before.
Yeah.
What drives that? And does this cycle end at the end of the year or into 2026?
2026, and the inventories are just too low. I mean, everybody's buying it. You know, you have all these DATs and you have these sovereign funds and other people, and there's just not enough Bitcoin being produced. So it's a supply and demand mechanic. And if you take a look at the buy volume in the Wall Street demand that's coming, there's just simply put not enough Bitcoin to go around. So if you look at the models, it's somewhere in that 150 to 300,000, and the expected value kind of sits around that 250 mark. And we've already achieved a great deal. And what's nice is once Bitcoin stalls, then people are like, I'm not getting enough love in Bitcoin. So then it leaks into the alts. So that's what creates the GigaChad bull run for that. And I think the big push is going to be the Clarity Act being passed. And that'll probably be passed around September to October. And then once that's in market, the Mag 7 will come in, other people will come in, and everybody will just start taking a little bit of crypto in their treasury management in the Fortune 500. And these are trillion-dollar companies, and so by extension, that demand is just simply put too high. The driver for Bitcoin DeFi is if all these large institutions hold Bitcoin, they're going to want, as a CFO, to create yield for that. They just don't want to have an opportunity cost of holding an asset that's passive and doesn't do anything. So if somebody comes to them and says, you can click this toggle and work with a third-party treasury management firm and get 5 or 6% like a T-bill on your Bitcoin at a relatively low risk, they'll be like, yeah, I'll do that for 20 or 30% of my inventory. And maybe that's $200 million or $300 million. Sum that across the whole Fortune 500, that's a TVL of probably 50 to 100 billion just off of that. So the numbers work very well for Bitcoin.
Look at this. Ethereum supply on exchanges is dropping fast, now at its lowest level in 9 years. No one is ready for the Ethereum supply squeeze coming, especially considering staking Ethereum is on the rise. Wall Street is going to pump Ethereum's price way over $10,000. You can already see it happening.
Ethereum's been kind of a dormant chain. People wanted faster networks or more novel ways to do essentially validation, but Ethereum's had zero downtime. That is what matters to Wall Street. Zero downtime in 10 years. So I think that Wall Street has already decided Ethereum is the chain they're going to build Wall Street onto. And it's lower than it was 5 years ago.
And not just Tom Lee. Many crypto leaders on Wall Street see that Ethereum is taking over Wall Street because 10 years, zero downtime, securing trillions in value, Wall Street is choosing Ethereum.
Ethereum hasn't had downtime. Ethereum has been secure for 10 years. There's a whole ecosystem that derives security from that mainnet-based layer. And I think if you look at the Ethereum roadmap and the new leadership of the Ethereum Foundation, there are going to be incredible scale advances on the L1. And so I'm quite bullish that this ecosystem, the Ethereum L1 and L2 ecosystems, is going to be where capital is attracted to.
Don't get it twisted. There are so many quality altcoins that are great buys right now, in my opinion. Altcoins will boom even harder than Ethereum, even though I think Ethereum is being chosen by Wall Street. But I feel like so many people in crypto have forgotten about altcoins, maybe still burned by altcoins. Traditional finance is not tired of them. They are not burned by them. They're now getting into them in some of the biggest ways we've ever seen. Bitwise debuting its Ethereum, XRP, and Solana ETFs on Switzerland's main stock exchange. Even Tom Lee, the biggest Ethereum bull on the planet, even Tom Lee admits that many altcoins are great buys today, like Solana, like SWI, like XRP, like Chainlink.
World of Ethereum flipping Bitcoin, it does mean other chains do well, whether that's Solana or SUI. I think that there's a lot of value creation occurring as we tokenize a lot of things.
Look at this glorious multi-year trend. The trend is your friend. There's going to be a lot of noise in the coming days. I'm going to keep it extremely simple for you. Subscribe to Altcoin Daily, join our team. We're at the precipice of one of the biggest crypto bull runs we've ever seen. We're in the bull run. The best part of the bull run is coming up. My name's Aaron at Altcoin Daily. See you tomorrow.